You are about to discover the training difference that has helped thousands of dog owners experience the joy of a better behaved dog quickly and easily by using an Innotek remote training system. Although you're probably not a professional dog trainer, your Innotek remote training system was designed by professionals with you in mind to be safe and easy to use. And every Innotek remote trainer is supported by professionals too. Innotek understands that each dog and situation is unique. Call the free professional training support hotline at 1-800-364-3362 and they will gladly walk you step by step through your particular training challenge. Call as often as you wish. For Innotek customers, the help is always free. Our goal is to help you develop a happier, more satisfying relationship with your dog. With this in mind, this video will cover the most common and useful commands such as sit, down, break, come, and go to. We'll also deal with specific behavior problems including jumping up, digging, rummaging, and other common misbehaviors. If you have any questions after watching this video and reading the owner's manual included with your Innotek remote trainer, please don't hesitate to contact Innotek's free professional training support hotline at 1-800-364-3362. This video is intended to help you use your Innotek remote training collar in the easiest and most effective way. Once you and your dog become accustomed to using the Innotek collar, as described in this video, you will find many other effective ways to use the collar and to ensure years of enjoyment with a well-behaved dog. Please note, Innotek remote trainers are not intended for use on dogs younger than 6 months. However, you can introduce puppies to your remote training system by getting them accustomed to wearing the collar and using some of the tone-only options. We recommend that you use the basic training concepts learned in this video early if your dog is young, encouraging good behavior with plenty of praise. Before using your Innotek remote trainer for the first time, read the owner's manual and familiarize yourself with it thoroughly. Pay particular attention to the cautions given in the front of the manual. Your Innotek remote trainer consists of two basic components, the transmitter and the collar. Depending on which model of remote trainer you have, the collar may have replaceable batteries or an internal rechargeable battery. Your remote trainer collar comes with two sets of metal contacts, short for short-haired dogs and long for long-haired dogs. Use the set of contacts that suit your dog's coat. A little hair thinning in the area where the collar makes contact can produce more consistent results. The transmitter sends a signal to the collar receiver that administers the stimulus. By pressing the appropriate button, you can deliver a training tap or stimulus to your dog. The training stimulus itself is a brief, corrective tingle that helps your dog learn. This stimulus is completely harmless. In fact, it's similar to what you feel when you shuffle across the carpet in your socks and touch a metal doorknob. Your dog will quickly learn that good behavior in response to your commands brings with it rewards, where an alternate or undesirable behavior turns on the tingle from the collar. The Innotek remote trainer comes with several different levels of stimulus. Regardless of how many levels your remote trainer allows, always use the lowest level of stimulus that produces the desired result. With the proper level, your dog's reaction should be a little shake of the head, twitching of the ears, or a look to you. Your dog should never be fearful of the tap, as it should simply be a distraction from one behavior to a better behavior. Most Innotek hand controllers will automatically synchronize to the training collar when you turn your unit on. However, in some cases it will be necessary before using your remote trainer for the first time to synchronize or match up your hand controller to the dog's training collar. Please refer to your owner's guide to ensure proper operation. Depending on your Innotek model, the hand controller may also have other useful features, such as tone and click options. For operating instructions for your specific collar and transmitter, refer to your owner's guide. After you've familiarized yourself with the operation of your remote trainer, turn it on, and always turn it on before putting it on your dog. Attach the neck strap so the collar contacts are centered just above the dog's Adam's apple. The neck strap must fit tightly enough so that you can slide only one finger between it and the dog's neck. Trim away any excess neck strap, leaving enough to account for the dog's possible future growth. Never leave the collar on your dog for more than 12 hours at a time. If you notice any redness or sensitivity around the collar area, remove the collar immediately and wash the area thoroughly with mild soap and warm water. Okay, let's get started. You've familiarized yourself with your remote trainer. The collar is turned on, and the hand controller signal is matched to the training collar. Now it's time to determine the training level that's right for your dog. When using the Innotek remote trainer, always use the lowest level that produces the desired result. Push the controller button. You'll know the dog is feeling the collar by the reaction of twitching of the ears or turning of the head. If your dog shows no reaction, check to make sure the contacts are touching the skin of the neck and deliver the lowest level again. If there's still no reaction, then and only then move to the next highest level. Repeat this procedure until you're sure your dog is feeling the tingle. If the dog jumps or cries out, the level is too high. When you've arrived at the right level, take a few minutes to play with a favorite toy and give a lot of praise. To start, we'll learn about basic commands that involve teaching your dog to sit, down, and break. These commands will help your dog to be safe, better behaved, and more reliable around guests. These simple commands also offer you the opportunity to solve a number of common problem behaviors that may be undesirable to your family, neighbors, and friends. Perhaps the most important command is the release command. This command can be a word that you choose, such as free, break, or okay. For the purpose of this video, we'll use break as the release word. This release word tells your dog that it's okay to move about. With an effective release command, there's no reason for the command stay. Your dog will simply remain where told and move only when released. After learning the 3 basic commands, your dog will move to the more advanced commands that require your dog to learn obey commands from greater distances, such as come, used to call your dog when he's off leash, and go to, used to direct your dog to their spot or place. Memorize these 5 basic commands and use them consistently, and you'll be on your way to training your dog to associate each command with a specific action. Whether your dog is a companion pet or your best hunting buddy, these 5 basic commands will cover the most common behavior requirements. One thing to remember, we recommend that you don't use different words interchangeably, such as off one time and down the next. You'll just confuse your dog. Choose a word and stick with it. Each basic command will be taught in 3 steps: teach, reinforce, and off-leash control. In step 1, you'll demonstrate what your dog should do. Show the action you expect your dog to perform in response to a command. Use a leash to control and direct your dog. In step 2, you'll use your Innotek remote training system to reinforce the commands that you have taught your dog. And in step 3, we'll add distractions and temptations to make your dog more reliable when you really need it and increase the distance from which your dog will need to obey commands. Throughout the training process, you'll want to use plenty of praise, playing with toys, treats, and lots of attention for appropriate behavior. Discourage the wrong behavior by withholding attention, play, and treats, and wait for the first opportunity to lavish the attention again for the appropriate behavior. The first command you teach your dog will take the longest to accomplish. Your dog has yet to understand the learning process, so everything you do and say will be new. Don't lose heart. With every command and passing day you spend training, it will become easier and faster once your dog understands what to expect. First, attach a 6-foot leash to a separate nylon or leather collar. Do not attach the leash directly to the electronic collar's neck strap. With your dog on the leash and by your side, grasp the leash by the buckle under the dog's chin. Give the command, sit.
Sit.
Pull up on the leash and push down at the base of the dog's tail in a gentle movement. Hold your dog in position for 5 to 10 seconds and then release by giving the dog your release command and rewarding with a treat and plenty of praise. For the purpose of this video, we will use break. Perform a number of repetitions, but only as many as you have your dog's full attention. Resist the urge to push your dog to the point of resistance. We've found that 10 to 20 repetitions are optimal for any single training session. Have 2 training sessions per day with your dog on this command. You'll know it's time to move on to the next phase when your dog anticipates the sit command and your prompting by sitting before you can pull up on the leash. The next step is to reinforce the sit command. With the training collar on and your dog on a 6-foot leash, press and hold the stimulation button as you give the command sit. Keep holding the button until your dog is sitting. Immediately release the button. Praise your dog calmly while sitting. Release your dog with the break command and enthusiastically praise. Should your dog break from the sitting position prior to giving the release command, immediately press and hold the hand controller training button and help your dog into the sitting position again. Repeat this step until your dog remains in the sit position for 10 seconds or more. Repeat this exercise 2 times per day until your dog sits without you having to use the stimulation button. Use treats and lots of praise. Once you determine your dog has mastered the sit command without using the hand controller or your assistance, you're ready to work with your dog off leash and add increased distractions to your training environment. Now we're ready to move on to sit training without the leash. When your dog is obeying the sit command without prompting from you or the training collar, take the leash off and repeat the sit lesson in a controlled and secure area. Gradually add distractions such as petting your dog, people approaching, other dogs walking by, and tossing a toy. Should your dog break the sit position prior to your release command break, immediately press and hold the stimulation button until your dog self-corrects into the sitting position. Please take a moment to review some vital steps in the training process. Okay, we're ready to move into the next phase, the down command. There are several ways to teach your dog the meaning of down. The method you choose should provide the least amount of resistance from your dog. With your dog in the sit position by your side, grasp the leash with one hand and place the other hand on your dog's shoulder blades.
Down.
With firm but gentle pressure, pull down on the leash until your dog is in the down position. With this method, it's helpful if you're on a slippery surface, such as tile or linoleum, that helps your dog slide into the down position. On coarser surfaces, take your leash hand and sweep your dog's legs outward, guiding your dog into the down position. Or, for resistant dogs, present your dog with a favorite treat in front of his nose. Slowly move the treat to the ground. Do not relinquish the treat until the dog is in the down position. As with the sit command, keep your dog in the down position for 10 seconds and use your release command.
Break.
Play and praise enthusiastically. Repeat this step 10 to 20 times, 2 times per day. You'll know it's time to introduce the training collar stimulus when your dog anticipates the down command and lies down with little guidance or resistance. With your dog sitting by your side, give the command down and immediately press and hold the stimulation button. Help your dog into the down position if necessary and immediately release the stimulation button. Repeat this step 5 to 10 times, 2 times per day. Move on to the off-leash step when your dog immediately lies down to avoid the training tap from the collar and does not break prior to your break command. When your dog is lying down without prompting from the leash and training collar, take the leash off and repeat the down lesson in a controlled and secure area. Gradually add distractions such as petting your dog, people approaching, other dogs walking by, and tossing a toy. Should your dog break the down position prior to your release command break, immediately press and hold the stimulation button until your dog self-corrects into the down position. Should your dog appear confused and unable to self-correct into the down position, Help your dog back down with the leg sweep and go back and review step 1. Teach your dog the down command with distractions until you're satisfied your dog knows what's expected. Please take a moment to review what you've learned. Now you're ready to move into more exciting phases of training, the go-to. You'll need a marker that will identify the particular place you'd like your dog to go to. A dog bed or blanket works well. With the leash attached and you standing with your dog in a sit position 2 or 3 feet from your dog's place, give the command, "Go to your bed."
Go to your bed.
Immediately move forward, guiding your dog onto the bed and into a sit or down position. Do not voice the sit or down commands again. Go to your bed will mean find your bed and lay down, and your dog should rapidly anticipate that this is your desire. Use your release command after 5 to 10 seconds and make sure you play and praise. Gradually increase the amount of time you require your dog to stay on the bed prior to the release command. Repeat this step 10 to 20 times, 2 times per day. If your dog should become distracted or resistant during this step, reduce the number of repetitions in each lesson. As with other commands, you'll know it's time for the next step when your dog moves toward the bed with little or no physical prompting from the leash. Next step, reinforce the go-to command. Press and hold the controller button when you give the command, "Go to your bed." Your dog should right away move towards the bed and sit or lay down, and upon doing so, immediately release the stimulation button. Should your dog move off the bed without the release command, immediately press the stimulation button and guide your dog back into position. Remember, should your dog appear to be confused on what action causes the collar to turn off, repeat the early teaching steps. We're now ready to train the go-to step without the leash. With the bed a few feet away, take the dog's leash off and repeat the go-to lessons with increasing distractions and temptations. Roll a ball, ring the doorbell, and have people walk through the area. Your dog should not move from the bed or any other initial position. You'll also need to practice the go-to command from greater distances. As your dog perfects going to the bed when it's in sight, move the bed to a location around the corner. This will most likely baffle your dog at first because the bed is not in sight. So help your dog to the new location before you use the remote training collar. This request is like a totally new command for your dog, and you may need to start with the first step, teaching. As you add new commands, you'll find that your dog is moving through the steps with increasing speed. Learning is a process that dogs will grow accustomed to very quickly. Please take a moment to review what you've learned. You can teach the come command on a 15-foot lead or retractable leash. Attach the leash to your dog's collar and put him in a sit position. Walk to the end of your leash, turn and face your dog, give the come command. Give the leash a snap and jog backwards a few steps. Your dog should start to return to you.
Come.
For added reliability and safety, the come command should end in a sit. Don't give the sit command when your dog arrives. Simply put your dog in a sit with lots of praise and petting. Give your release command when finished. If your dog should get distracted, repeat the command come, give the leash a snap, and jog backwards a few steps. Do not approach your dog. Your dog should come the entire distance to you. Put your dog in a sit position and praise enthusiastically upon reaching you. Release your dog from the sit and spend a few moments playing with a favorite toy. Repeat this step 10 to 20 times, 2 times per day. You'll be ready to use your remote training collar when your dog anticipates the leash pop and you running backwards by racing to you on the come command. With the training collar turned on and the retractable leash attached, repeat the training steps in step 1 of the come command. Instead of snapping the leash and running backwards, press and hold the stimulation button until your dog covers the 15 feet. Immediately release the button when your dog gets to you and sits. Don't forget to release your dog from the sitting position when the exercise is finished with lots of praises and petting. The final step of the come command is the off leash. In a confined and controlled environment, such as a fenced backyard, take the leash off your dog and repeat the training steps from step 2. If your dog should get distracted from the mission of getting to you and sitting, immediately press and hold the stimulation button. Release the button only on the successful conclusion of the come exercise. Similar to the other commands, gradually increase the distance your dog needs to cover on the come command and distractions they will encounter on the way. Your dog should ignore every temptation, such as children, rolling balls, and other animals. At first appearance, this might look like more distraction than any dog could ignore, and maybe even unfair to ask. However, it is this exercise that keeps your dog out of harm's way. Unfortunately, all too often, there is a busy road between your dog and an irresistible distraction. The time spent perfecting this command is literally a lifesaver. Please take a moment and review what you've learned. Putting an end to common problem behaviors requires a different use of your remote training system as compared to the training process covered in Part 1, where there are teaching or demonstration steps. To solve most problems, it is only necessary for your dog to associate the zing of the training collar with a particular problem behavior. Your dog's actions cause the collar to activate, and ceasing that behavior turns the collar off. Keen observation on your part is required to get the timing right. Before you start to solve a digging problem, consider why your dog is digging. Some modification of your dog's living environment may be required to fully solve this problem. Dogs dig for 3 primary reasons: a cooler or warmer place to lie. Make sure that your dog has plenty of shade and shelter. In the heat of the summer, a small wading pool may be just what the doctor ordered. They smell or hear something interesting. Particularly prevalent in terrier breeds that were bred to dig. Give these dogs an area to dig in that's acceptable and out of the way. Terriers appreciate sandboxes just as much as the kids do. Entertainment. Your dog is bored or lonely. Increase your play and exercise time with your dog. The training exercises outlined in this video will fit the bill. For more mental stimulation, take your dog out on more errands. The new sights and smells will give your dog more mental exercise. Even with these changes, some dogs need some firmer persuasion to find a new way to entertain themselves. To do this, select a stimulation level 1 or 2 levels higher than your standard training level. Then let your dog out in the yard and observe closely, preferably out of sight. Make sure there are no people or other animals in the yard with which your dog could associate the collar's correction. When your dog starts to dig, press and hold the stimulation button until the digging stops. Watch carefully for some time. The dog will usually associate that hole with being the culprit and will challenge several other areas before deciding it's the digging that causes the correction. The training lessons covered in Part 1 should have solved most of your jumping problems, as you would choose to have your dog sit and then be petted by visitors. Should your dog not be able to contain enthusiasm, you may have to address this problem directly. Use your dog's normal training level. If you find this is insufficient due to the level of distraction, select the next highest level until you reach the level that gets your dog's attention. When your dog jumps up, press and hold the transmitter button until all 4 paws are on the floor. Tell your dog to sit and enforce as demonstrated in Part 1 of this video. Repeat as often as necessary for your dog to sit when visitors arrive. Again, it's necessary for you to use a number of different people in different situations for your dog to associate that the zing from the collar will happen no matter where they are or whom they're jumping on. You're probably getting the idea of how to effectively use your Innotek remote training product to introduce negative consequence for your dog's misdeeds. The same method is used to discourage other behaviors, such as rummaging through the garbage, and even the most determined counter surfer. Let's review how to approach common problems around the house. Temptations that your dog can't resist will usually require a higher level of stimulus than the training level that you established. Although you're pushing the stimulation button, no other corrective action on your part is required. Your dog will soon learn that it is his behavior that causes the collar to turn on and off. You will need to catch your dog in the act a number of consecutive times to be successful. Otherwise, in your dog's mind, sometimes the correction happens and sometimes it doesn't, and they will continue to challenge the theory. After correcting for one unacceptable behavior, it's helpful to redirect your dog to an activity that will earn a reward, such as get your ball. Play with your dog to redirect his energy to good behavior. You are now quickly on your way to a better behaved dog. The patience and time invested by you and help from your Innotek remote training system will reward you with years of fun and trouble-free companionship. The dog professionals at Innotek thank you for choosing your Innotek remote training system and are available to answer any questions that you may have regarding your dog's behavior. Call our training professionals at Innotek's free professional training support hotline at 1-800-364-3362. We look forward to hearing from you.